Today I'm going to be reacting to the true crime story of Brittney Zamora, a middle school teacher who was sentenced for sexually assaulting a 13-year-old boy from the school. This story is a very rare case where an attractive woman who assaults a child actually faces real consequences. Shocking, I know. So this one is for you, all you weirdos who say, "Damn, where were teachers like this when I was in middle school?" Well, shockingly, they're actually getting arrested sometimes, believe it or not. So let's look into this story and see how the rare occurrence of an attractive woman getting a real sentence happened. There's gotta be something to it, right? Let us begin.
Welcome to practice. This is where all you news become yellow turds. Yeah.
That was Brittney Zamora on social media years ago, but now the popular teacher is in the middle of a long prison sentence as a convicted sexual predator.
This officer has a body cam on him as well.
So how did this one-time popular teacher go from the schoolhouse to the big house?
What type of perverted person are you? I want to know right now.
Well, a parental monitoring app and a concerned father blow the entire case wide open.
See, look at that. Fathers, man. Honestly, if it wasn't for this boy's father in this story and the amount of anger that he had, but stoicism at the same time, I don't know. He might be the key as to why we actually see an attractive woman getting real time.
I go through the disturbing story from start to finish in this episode of Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy. Let's get started. Brittney Zamora's case takes us to Goodyear, Arizona, a city just outside of Phoenix, the year 2018.
Welcome to practice. This is where all you news become yellow turds. Yeah. Yeah. First, we need to learn how to tackle. Go.
Zamora was a sixth grade teacher at Las Brisas Academy. She was popular, pretty, and married. The 27-year-old seemed to have it all. A picture-perfect life.
Popular, married, and pretty. Like, the way we talk about female predators compared to the way that we talk about male predators is insane. If it was some guy, and I'm probably going to be doing this a lot throughout the video, I'm sorry, but it has to go. You have to say it. If it was some guy, they would be like, he was creepy, ugly, and poor. Guaranteed.
Hey, Zamora.
Look at that.
And Miss Zamora, as her students called her, appeared to be a hit with her students.
Violent. She all up on them boys, man. Psh. My teacher touched me, man. We going hands.
And in March 2018, the father of the 13-year-old boy would discover something on his son's phone that sends him into a rage. It's a direct message between his son and Miss Zamora that reads,
"Hey, baby. Hey, love, what you doing? Thinking about your sexy self." Like, it's an interesting phenomenon that we are just now seeing these young 20-something-year-old attractive teachers all of a sudden. Like, it makes me wonder if this has always been happening to this level, but because of phones and all that, like, we're seeing it now. Because no way this just, like, is happening all of a sudden, right?
"Hey, baby." The boy writes back, "Hey, love." Miss Zamora responds, "WYD. That's shorthand for what you doing." The boy says, "Thinking about your sexy self." Zamora replies, "Ah, baby, I wish you were with me." This discovery prompts the father to confront his son, and soon, Brittney Zamora herself. And here's the kicker. The dad records the entire conversation as evidence.
What type of perverted person are you? I want to know right now. You are a monster. You are a pedophile. You're a child molester. Do you understand me?
Father of the year. We need more fathers.
Do me a favor. Do not call this number back again. The next time you'll hear from me will be in court. And make sure you let your husband know that you like the 13-year-old boys.
Oof.
And
Oof.
I am
And the husband, oh my God. The husband in this story is cuck of the year, cuck of the millennium. Yeah, you'll see.
coming for you.
Okay.
Yeah, you have a wonderful evening, okay, you stupid.
Can you explain to me? Can we meet, to talk about this? Is
Miss-
there something we can settle out, outside?
Oh yeah, that's what we can do, so I can give you a chance to do it to some other kid. Yeah, that's exactly what we're gonna do. No, Miss Zamora, do me a favor. Do not call me back again. Do you understand me? Make sure you tell your husband what's going on.
He is right here. Can he talk to you?
Oh yeah, put your husband on the phone. I'm more than happy to talk to that dumb too.
Listen to this guy.
Hey, don't say hey man to me. You got a monster. If I was you, you stupid I'd leave her.
Man, listen.
No, listen to me, you stupid.
I couldn't imagine getting cucked by a 13-year-old and then defending my wife, bruh. This dude sticks with her and continues to defend his wife cheating on him with a 13-year-old. I think the husband should go to jail too.
I'll cave your stupid head in. Do you want to? I'd love to put my hands around you. You are stupid.
The video cuts off right there, and you can clearly hear Brittney Zamora trying to calm the father down, hoping to smooth things over. But the father is undeterred. He goes to Las Brisas Academy to meet with police and school officials.
I know you already know a little bit about where we're at now, so Mrs. Zamora's been placed on administrative leave. She won't be coming in today, and she'll be on administrative leave pending the investigation.
How did this all begin?
How did we find out?
Correct, yes. How did it come to light?
So, I have an app on my son's phone.
Okay.
We got him a new phone, and he was wanting to shut his door at night. And we told him, you sleep with the door open.
Parents. I personally believe that giving your children smartphones is honestly abuse. No kid should have access to the entire world. No kid should have access to all of the information. And then it turns into this. It turns into students interacting with teachers, vice versa. Nothing good can come from giving your kid a smartphone. Give your kid a freaking track phone that you have to buy minutes for, that has no access to the internet, if you really want to make sure to stay in touch with your kids. Who cares about popularity and they're not going to fit in and blah, blah, blah. I would rather my kids' mental health, mental sanity, physical sanity, and safety be top priority for me than trying to make sure my kid has a phone like everybody else. So, problem could have been stopped a long time ago. But I'm not blaming the parents again. I'm not blaming the parents at all. I'm not victim blaming. It's just one of those things where it's like, you might think a little bit more before you give your kid the smartphone.
Yesterday I got the alert, and I kept getting alerts back to back because the word baby kept being used. So I'm reading through the conversations, and I've done this before with other conversations of his as well. But this time I saw at the bottom that it had Mrs. Zamora Instagram profile.
Okay.
As her name. And I'm familiar with her profile name because she's messaged me through Instagram as well, tutoring and offering help. And so I recognized, and I told my husband, and we looked it over, and then what confirmed it is her first name was used in the conversation where she either he wrote it or she wrote it.
Okay.
And they put last name. And so then the conversation just kept on. And so my husband just told him,
Okay.
have you done anything with your teacher? Did you have sex with your teacher?
Mm-hmm.
And he said yes.
He said yes. Okay.
And then after we talked to him and told him, he just kind of like got quiet and he didn't know what to say.
Shaking.
Shaking, saying he's cold. Just, the signs of being scared.
All of this leads.
See, and that's what I'm talking about when you guys are like, where was this when I was a middle schooler? Dude, what this does to a young man's psyche is just bad news. This is why you see certain men in society who have insane sexual deviancy. This type of stuff changes the brain chemistry of a young man and can turn him into a very impulsive person sexually, because this is a predator. It doesn't matter, female, male. And it's insane. Well, we all know the double standards, and this is one of the very few double standards where the male victim is looked at as like some type of winner in a lot of the eyes of people. And a lot of these young men grow up very, very confused and hurt by this. And I think there just needs to be more conversation about what this actually does mentally to young men and how it's not good for the future of society at all. Like, yeah, this mentality of where were they at when I was that age just needs to be thrown away entirely.
A forensic interviewer is brought in to handle the delicate nature of the situation. The boy needs to feel comfortable enough to divulge details that couldn't be more personal and more embarrassing or traumatic.
Side note, it's kind of weird they had some old lady go and talk to this 13-year-old abuse victim who was victimized by an older lady. Right? This was a little girl. I don't think they're going to have some 6'5" investigator go in there. Kind of weird.
In 6th grade. Tell me about a couple things that you like to do.
I like to play football, write, and draw.
So you like to play football, and you like to write and draw. So tell me about the last time you got a chance to play football.
The boy and the interviewer talk for several minutes, and then they get into how the abuse started.
So I heard something happened. Tell me about it. Start at the beginning. Tell me everything, no matter how small the details are, no matter how unimportant you think everything is.
Like from the very beginning, like how it all started.
Like from the very beginning, how it all started.
Well, I was texting my teacher on class prep because she made an announcement to the class that she was going to be at school, and for us to text her because she'll be bored. So she said to text her so she wouldn't be bored, and I said, "I'm Zamora."
Text her because she would be bored. Talk about arrested development in this woman. Like, she ain't got no friends, and her goofy husband. She has no respect for that dude. So she's basically alone in her marriage, hitting on children and trying to be friends with kids. Yikes.
And she texted back hi, and then we just started texting. I can't remember all we texted, but then she was like, "Would it be weird if I sent you a winky face?" I was like, "No, it's just a winky face, LOL." And then we kept texting, and I don't remember all we texted, but I was in my room, and she said, she's like, "I was bored." She said, "I'm bored." I said, "LOL, I am too." And then she said, "Come over," and I said, "On my way." And put the car in. I was like, "JK." And then we were talking about a school dance, And she said, are you gonna come? And I was like, I don't think so, I might though. And she's like, oh, Salty Bay. And she called herself like Bay.
Ew, dude, yeah, she's like... She sounds like a teenager. Like, ew. And that's some real, like, grooming stuff, right? Like, she's trying to take on the aura of a teenage girl. Salty Bay? Cringe, bro.
I just like brushed off. I was like, LOL. And then I don't remember talking. I don't remember what else we talked about. And like everything else, I don't remember. But yeah, we would flirt a lot. Like, and we would like be out at recess, and I would talk to her, and we would flirt at recess, and then
flirt at recess is wild work.
Our principal said that we couldn't do that.
Duh.
I couldn't talk at recess no more. That I needed to go hang out because other kids were getting like jealous that I was talking to her and not them.
What?
So I stopped talking to her at recess, and then I would just keep texting. I would text her.
The boy said the inappropriate relationship began with flirting, and then...
Wow, so you mean to tell me the principal was already suspect, told him stop talking to her. It should have been opposite. He should have told her stop talking to him and let him go. So, seems like the school already knew ahead of time. Fascinating.
Brittney Zamora escalated the grooming, telling him that she wanted to perform a sex act on him.
Tell me about that. Start at the beginning, go all the way to the very end.
The first time she did, I was at my grandparents' house, and she texted me, and she was all like, hey, and I was like, hey, she's like, what are you doing? I was like, oh, I'm about to go to bed, I'm at my grandparents' house. She's like, are you alone? And I was like, well, they're all sleeping, so sort of. And she's like, let me come over. I was like, LOL. And then she's like, no, I'm serious. And then she's already said this before to me, but I was playing with my little brother outside in my house, and she was all like, let me come over so I can show you how much I love you. And I was like,
oh my god. Okay, honestly, I don't care, like, that would scare the shit out of me if I was a kid, to be honest. I don't care how hot my teacher is or whatever, like talking about, oh, let me come over right now. I would be like, what are you, the feds? Nah.
no, my little brother's here. And she was like, okay, and then she put the sad face. I was like, I gotta go. And then she was all like, okay, I love you. And I said, I love you too. But she was all like, where is your grandparents' house? I'm like, oh, and then she's like, okay, send me the address, because her husband was fishing. And I got into the car and she started like kissing me, and then she gave me
oh, she pulled up. She pulled up to the grandparents' house, man. Wow.
If this wasn't disturbing enough, the boy says that some of the abuse happened in a classroom at Las Brisas Academy too, and another student was actually there as it unfolded.
we were picking up our bags, and we really had no intention of doing it that time. And I was saying bye, and then like we started kissing again, and then like, yeah, bro, go outside and make sure nobody comes, because I think the janitors were there. My dad called me. He's like, hey, I'm here at the school. I was like, all right, and then I left.
So, when you started kissing?
He was drawing something on a whiteboard.
So he was there when you were kissing?
Yeah.
Did I get that right? Okay. So then, so was it time, or did he?
No, he said, I'm gonna go outside, and I said, yeah, bro, go outside.
Yeah, this woman is a monster. So not only is she abusing this 13-year-old kid, but she's using other kids as lookouts while she's up in the classroom doing stuff with the 13-year-old. You really can't make this up. And from the sounds of it, the school kind of knew she was like that, but we're just like, meh. So even if they did walk in on her, they would probably be like, oh, we're sorry, Miss Zamora. Continue with the 13-year-old. We're just gonna not tell anybody. And you know what's sad? That's not even really an exaggeration. Here in Washington, there's actually a bill that was passed that allows schools to withhold information for at least 48 hours if their kid was sexually assaulted or physically assaulted, whether it's a student or faculty member. So I wouldn't be surprised if that was a thing at this school. I really wouldn't.
The victim reveals intimate details about Brittney Zamora to the investigator, details that he could only know if he was telling the truth about the abuse he suffered at her hands. But the abuse wasn't just physical. It followed him home via his phone.
And you said she sent you pictures. Tell me everything about pictures.
But sometimes I would ask, and then like sometimes I wouldn't, and she'd be like, "You want a picture?"
And that goes back to my original point about not letting these kids have smartphones, because that camera will be the death of them. And honestly, you need to protect their own embarrassment from the future. Like, thank God I didn't have a phone or internet when I was in middle school, because I sure as hell would have a terrible internet thumbprint or whatever. You know what I'm talking about? All your stuff left over. Yeah, no.
One time she sent me a picture of her like covering herself, and she was in her underwear. And my friend, he seen that one.
And what friend?
Damn, she throwing out selfies to everybody.
What's his last name? And how do you know him?
He's been my best friend since 3rd grade.
And do you have any idea when the first pictures were sent?
You know, now that I think about it, it is true that a lot of these predators actually have multiple victims. So, like, I couldn't imagine being 13, getting predated on, and then she's also doing it with, like, one of my homies, too, or something. Somebody from class. Like, how painful. You're already feeling kind of scared and weird that this adult is after you. And then you find out that, like, they're doing it to others, and like, I can imagine probably feeling like betrayed, but also like confused and hurt, and like, that's just sick, man. Like, none of that should be felt at 13.
No, okay. So I understand how all of this makes you feel.
Right now, my stomach just hurts. Like, I don't feel good.
Oh, look at this. Watch this body
testimony
cam.
of the child.
Anytime you see body cam of these female predators, dude, they get treated with the most childish gloves, man. Like, they go so easy on these people.
Is downright disturbing, and when coupled with the digital trails she left behind, it all leads to Goodyear police detectives tracking Zamora down and taking her into custody.
Are we on the right subject, though?
Kathy, you should have a picture of him. I'll let you know.
Yep, I'm on. Okay. Yeah, can you? Yeah, you will. This is your personal property.
So everything that goes in this bag.
I'm going to take your necklace off as well.
She ain't about to see that personal property for a very long time, just saying. Come on, dude, just put the shit in the bag, bro. You know, I watch a lot of body cam, and I gotta say, this has to be one of the most calmest ones. Like, this, to me, screams, she knows she done messed up major. Because usually they're screaming, crying, asking all these questions, blah, 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 blah. But, wow, surprisingly calm. It's very interesting.
A stunning fall from grace. An educator trusted to care for children, someone who is supposed to provide a safe environment for them, now stands accused of violating the trust of the school and parents.
Oh, Anjanette, if that's how you say your name. This is nothing new. She's acting like, oh, it's so shocking. A lot of people talk crap about the Catholic Church when it comes to this kind of stuff. But there's way more sexual assault in the public school system than one can even imagine. But, of course, you can't go after the public school system because the government forces everybody to put their kids in it, essentially. And if you don't, you better figure out another way or else your ass is going to jail. So if you don't put your kid in this public school indoctrination camp where they could potentially be sexually assaulted, well, you're going to jail, parents. It is insane. It's insane. Like public school, wow. You want to talk about a fall from grace, Anjanette? Public school has one of the worst falls from grace. And this phenomenon happening is proving that.
Did they tell you why you're here? They didn't tell you why you're under arrest?
No.
Okay. It's involving that relationship with...
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's see. Does she take accountability? We all can tell she's not smart enough to ask for a lawyer. So, we'll see.
Okay. So, I told you a little bit ago that I would was going to come and talk to you and give you the opportunity to tell me what's going on. Okay. Obviously, we both know why you're here. How long have you, or where do you work right now, Brittney?
Las Risas Academy.
And how long have you been there?
Since July.
What's your first year?
Well, at that school.
At that school. And where were you before that?
Littleton Elementary School.
And how long were you there?
From July 2013 to May 2017.
And what's your position right now?
Sixth grade teacher.
You said this is the first time you've been in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're 27, so you made it a long ways. So I'm not going to judge you, and people do make mistakes. So there's mistakes that are made in life, and they happen, and it's basically how people move on from those is kind of who they are as a person. So I'm not going to deny that, that it's something in...
Side note, but this is one of my favorite police techniques, is when they do an investigation or an interrogation, they make the person feel like they're not a bad person, like he's doing. We all make mistakes, and they get all friendly, like I'm here to just listen. I'm here to hear you out. I don't want to judge. I'm gonna be buddy. It's that classic thing they tell you, the cops ain't your friends. And that's why you gotta ask for a lawyer, because they will make you feel as comfortable as possible, like you're not going to jail. Like, come on. Lawyer up, people.
I'm sure you're not either, that it's something that shouldn't have happened. But I'm not going to call you a monster or anything like that and say you did something so, crazy that you're a horrible person. So, I wanted you to explain, how this came to happen.
Can I read how the attorney?
Oh!
You can.
Oh, shit! I spoke too soon. Forgive me. Good job. Probably the smartest thing she's done in her entire life, because everything else leading up to this was pretty stupid on her part.
Do these type of things happen in public?
They don't have to be made public, but...
Look. Of course, she is more worried about her public persona than she is hurting this child. Now, granted, she did ask for a lawyer. It wouldn't be right if she was like, well, how is a 13-year-old okay? But either way, she worried about the public persona. And baby girl, you're on my channel. We looking at you, and we see you for the monster that you are.
I've been in the school industry long enough to know that when something happens at a school, letters end up having to go out, and people ask questions.
It appears that Brittney Zamora is not in the mood to discuss any of this.
I'm not going to ask you any more questions because you said you wanted an attorney. So, did you have any more questions for me?
What are the next steps?
The next step is basically you do go to jail tonight.
I wonder how female predators are treated in prison. Is it the same as men? Like, are they going to be like trying to go after her? Or do women in prison find some camaraderie behind it? You know? You always hear about the men, but do the women feel just as angered towards child predators? I don't know.
I submit some paperwork.
I'm little. They're gonna tear me apart.
Well, I mean, if you have problems with somebody, you can voice that to somebody, okay?
Yeah, she did say she is 5 foot, so if the women do hate predators as much as men, yeah, she's cooked, buddy.
And if there are problems, they can isolate you.
How long do I stay in jail for?
Basically, the way it usually happens is you go down there and you see an IA judge within 12 hours. And that judge will determine what they want to do.
Okay.
And so they will determine if they are going to let you out on a certain amount of bond.
Okay.
And they make that determination on, kind of how...
I am the best husband in the world.
My God. Ugh. Ugh. See, oh my God. She has no respect for her husband whatsoever. Has the nerve to cuck him with a 13-year-old from her classroom. This loser has the nerve to hop on the phone and defend her against the kid's father instead of siding with the father. Like, best husband in the world, cuckspend, worst cuckspend, okay? No way on earth am I defending my wife on this. Again, he should go to jail too. If anything, he is an accomplice. Best husband in the world. You don't give 2 craps about your husband. What a frickin'... Yeah. The institution of marriage is ruined.
What's that?
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Brittney Zamora, the pretty teacher with the best husband in the world, is booked into the Maricopa County Jail, and her story makes national news. How could someone who seems to have it all just throw it all
that's
away?
Her blue steel. Ooh, look, all these looks wasted to be with a cuck husband and a child. What a waste.
For a 13-year-old boy. It's a question that even today boggles the mind as we see more and more female teachers, people who have sworn to nurture and protect children, preying on their own students. In 2019, Brittney Zamora pleaded guilty to 3 felony charges, including public sexual indecency. She was sentenced to 20 years in prison.
20 years, bro. You know how rare that is? Women can kill their kids. They can kill their husband. Women can just kill shit and not even get 20 years, usually. Like, the fact that she got 20 years is just mind-blowing. And it's so rare, but it's nice to see some actual justice for once for these overprivileged, attractive women. Even when they commit these heinous crimes, the whole time is the pretty teacher, the real pretty one. Everyone thinks she's so pretty. She's so attractive. Blah, 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 blah. The entire time, dude. 20 years, man. That's good. Good. You know, I heard someone make a good point that a lot of women nowadays are reading these novels that are just blatantly, overtly sexual. They have a lot of weird themes of like women with animals and women with aliens, and there's a lot of themes in them also with women with their students or students with women. I think this novel porn that women are reading is breaking their brains, and it's making them fantasize way too much. And we're putting these sexual deviants in these schools and covering it up a lot of the times. Because like I said, these bills that allow schools to cover this stuff up so schools can cover their own tracks, because we must protect the public school system. I think these schools got to stop hiring attractive women. I think we need to bring back discrimination. Seriously. I think we need to bring back discrimination, age-based and looks-based, especially in public school. Bring back them 40, 50, 60-year-old dinosaur teachers who looked like she was left out in the sun for 10 days, you know? Like, bring back the old grandmas that were teaching. Please, because we're only seeing this from these young fire crotch women who are just fresh out of college, fresh getting ran through, fresh reading all these books, looking at all these young kids fantasizing, bro. That's my solution. But hey, a lot of my solutions ain't legal, unfortunately. So we're just going to keep on seeing this, and it's only going to get worse. And men are going to continue enabling it online, talking about where were they when I was young. And that's a double standard. And that's why women have no accountability, and they serve like no time in jail, and you know, the whole song and dance. Women are, in America, the most privileged group of people on planet Earth, and yet somehow they still complain about being oppressed. Make it make sense. So I'm glad she's serving 20 years. I hope this young man gets the help that he needs, and it doesn't affect him too much later down the road, because it's going to be a tough journey for him to fully understand this and honestly work on his own impulse control after this, because this ain't good for a young man's psyche. So with that being said, thank you so much for sticking around and watching. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day. Sayonara.